Welcome to ZoomInData. Today we're diving into one of the most in-demand skills in the Microsoft world, Power Apps. If you're preparing for a job interview, or planning to switch your career into Power Platform, this video will be extremely helpful. In this session, I will be covering the top Power Apps interview questions along with clear, easy-to-understand answers. Whether you're a beginner learning Power Apps for the first time, or an experienced developer revising core concepts, this video will help you strengthen your fundamentals from the ground up. So let's get started with the first question. 1. How does Power Apps inherit security from data sources? Power Apps does not create its own security rules. Instead, it respects the security defined in the data source. This means user access depends on permissions already configured in SharePoint, Dataverse, SQL, etc. Even if the app UI shows data, users cannot access records they don't have permission for. Example: if a user doesn't have access to a SharePoint list item, they cannot see it in Power Apps either. 2. What are common security risks in Power Apps? Hard-coding role checks inside the app instead of using data-level security. Sharing apps widely without checking data permissions. Using sensitive data with unsecured connectors. Lack of auditing and monitoring. 3. How does role-based access improve security in Power Apps? Role-based access ensures users see only data relevant to their role. It prevents unauthorized actions like editing or deleting records. Security is enforced consistently across all apps using the same data. Example: employees can submit leave requests, but only managers can approve them. 4. What happens if security is handled only at app level? App-level checks can be bypassed unintentionally. Sensitive data may be exposed through logic errors. Security becomes difficult to maintain as apps grow. Data-level security is always more reliable. 5. How do environments improve security isolation? Environments separate development, testing, and production systems. Changes in development do not affect production users. Security settings can differ across environments. This reduces risk of accidental data exposure. 6. What governance challenges arise with citizen developers? Too many apps created without standards. Inconsistent security practices. Duplicate apps solving the same problem. Difficulty in tracking ownership and usage. 7. How do data loss prevention, DLP, policies protect enterprise data? DLP policies control how data flows between connectors. They prevent sensitive data from being sent to unauthorized services. Policies enforce compliance without blocking productivity. Example: a DLP policy blocks sending Dataverse data to personal email services. 8. What risks exist when premium connectors are misused? Sensitive data may be exposed to external systems. Licensing costs can increase unexpectedly. Governance becomes harder to control. Compliance violations may occur. 9. How does Power Apps support compliance requirements? Dataverse provides auditing and change tracking. Security roles enforce least privilege access. Integration with Microsoft security standards supports compliance. Logs help during audits and investigations. 10. What is the role of IT admins in Power Apps governance? Defining environments and access policies. Managing DLP policies and connectors. Monitoring app usage and security risks. Supporting business teams without blocking innovation. 11. How do unmanaged apps create security risks? No clear ownership or accountability. Apps may use insecure data sources. Lack of documentation and support. Difficult to control or retire safely. 12. How do audit logs help in compliance? They track who changed what and when. Help investigate issues or data breaches. Support regulatory and internal audits. Example: HR reviews audit logs to check who updated salary details. 13. What happens when apps are shared incorrectly? Unauthorized users may gain data access. Sensitive information may be exposed. Compliance rules may be violated. Trust in the system reduces. 14. How does Power Apps handle authentication? Uses Azure Active Directory for identity management. Ensures only authenticated users access apps. User identity is available inside the app for logic. Centralized authentication improves security. 15. What are common governance mistakes organizations make? Allowing unrestricted app creation, ignoring DLP policies, not separating environments, no ownership or lifecycle management. 16. How do environment strategies support governance? Separate environments reduce risk. Controlled deployment processes improve quality. Easier monitoring and compliance enforcement. Supports structured ARM. 17. How does security affect user experience? Over-restrictive security frustrates users. Poor security risks data exposure. Balanced security improves trust. Example: users see only relevant records, reducing confusion and clutter. 18. What challenges arise in multi-team governance? Different teams follow different standards. Overlapping apps and data sources. Difficult coordination and ownership. Increased security risk. 19. How do organizations control app sprawl? Establish governance frameworks. Use centers of excellence. Review and retire unused apps. Enforce naming and documentation standards. 20. What role does documentation play in governance? Helps understand app purpose and design. Supports maintenance and audits. Enables smooth ownership transitions. Reduces dependency on individuals. 21. How do security reviews impact deployments? Identify risks before production release. Ensure compliance with standards. Reduce production incidents. Improve overall app quality. 22. What happens when governance is ignored? Data leaks and compliance issues. Unmaintainable apps. Increased operational risk. Loss of trust in Power Platform. 23. How do compliance needs affect app design? Data access must be controlled carefully. Auditing and logging become mandatory. Validation and security increase complexity. Design must follow regulations. 24. How do periodic security reviews improve Power Apps reliability? Regular security reviews help identify permission gaps and misconfigured access early. They ensure apps continue to meet compliance and organizational standards as business needs change. Reviews reduce the risk of data exposure caused by role changes or app enhancements. Security reviews also improve long-term stability by keeping governance aligned with growth. 25. How do you balance flexibility and control in Power Apps? Allow innovation within defined boundaries. Use governance policies instead of restrictions. Support business users while protecting data. Example: citizen developers can build apps, but only approved connectors are allowed. Thank you. If you found this video helpful, checkmark like, checkmark share, checkmark subscribe. ZoomInData. More Power Apps interview and tutorial videos coming soon. Stay connected and keep learning.